Good morning, everyone. This is Maysha, and I'm with Gabrielle for Twin Flame Tuesdays, girl.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you. This has like become my favorite part of the week.
Me too.
I love Twin Flame Tuesdays. I just
Me too.
absolutely love it. So the rain hasn't started yet. We may have a storm start before we get done.
I
But
know, I know.
we'll
I
just
the allergies going. I was about to sneeze when the camera came on.
Well, I'm dabbing my eyes and stuff still because it's just like even though I've got my other allergy medicine, I'm still it's
Mhm.
still like this. So I look like I look like I'm taking more than allergy medicine probably, but no, it's allergies. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Well, if the storm starts, we'll just keep going because isn't that how life is? Even if a
yeah,
storm comes, we just have to keep going. So,
yes, yeah,
my friend Roberta will put the Roberta force field up. That's what blocks bad weather. It keeps the power going and all of that stuff. So we're on a Roberta there for the
yes,
Roberta force field. And so Gabrielle, so today we're the topic is kind of dreams, right?
yeah. It is. It
Dr-
is.
how dreams about you and your twin, dreams with you and your twin, or where dreams are maybe showing you that it's not even about right now, even. So if you'd like to tell everyone,
Okay.
just start us out.
Well, I just wanted to share an experience that is recently happened to me, but went back to. Let me give you a little background story on it. So I have a picture. Some people in the community have seen my picture of my twin flame after he passed away in spirit form. He came to visit in my house. So in that picture, you also see a lot of different other spirits as well. You see angels in the window. You see, I can see my sister and a baby that we had in the past life. So, after that picture came about, I got some downloads when I was discovering what that picture meant more about that picture later on. I got some downloads about some of our past lives together. And some information that I was getting in one of our past lives was that our baby had died in some kind of way. I didn't know how our baby died, but I took it really, really badly. So I ended up committing suicide, killing both of us. Homicide, suicide, killing both of us. In the dream, in that part of my Akashic records, it seemed like I was going over a bridge. I was in a car and I went over a bridge and I killed us that way. And so I knew that was there, but Spirit hadn't taken me too much more in that arena. So as I've been clearing more of this generational trauma and deep wounds over the past few weeks, I had a dream the other night that hit me really, really hard. So now, fast forward to this year, this life, my twin is not physically here with me anymore, even though he has reincarnated in another body somewhere else, but not in as far as the Larry form that I knew in this lifetime. So I had this dream about my son that I have now with my partner that I'm with now. And in this dream was about my baby had got lost in the airport. It was like I was being separated at the airport, and they was like, "Well, he can go on this flight by himself." So the airport ended up losing my baby, and during this whole time, I'm communicating with my guides, and this whole dream is so vivid. And so and so at the time, it's like he was lost in some kind of chamber or something like that. And they were like, well, he's still living. You got time. So time passed on. Nobody would really listen to my cry about trying to find my son. And they were like, no, he's dead. When you find him, he's going to be dead. So, of course, that shook me at my core, waking up out of my dream. I'm just like, oh, my goodness. So I was trying to communicate with my guys as soon as leaving the dream state. They wouldn't communicate because I was still kind of in that fear mode. So it was like, no, we're not showing you anything right now because you're going to get the wrong impression of what this means. So I calmed down. I'm like, okay. So during that time, I just felt guided to go back to sleep. I got my baby in the bed with me because he woke up. I felt guided to go back to sleep. This time when I went back to sleep, I entered back into that dream. So this time, this dream, they were showing me, okay, he's passed away. You're gonna have to figure out this information. So during this time, I was with one of my best friends. We were at a bridge, and the same scenario energy kind of came back up. I had a chance this time to jump over that bridge and commit suicide or to stay. And in that moment, in that dream, I felt myself said, no, I'm not doing it this time. And I stayed. So when I woke up, I started talking to spirit. I had more of a conscious understanding then when I woke up.
Mhm.
The spirit told me, this was you healing that wound, healing that information of everything that happened to you guys when you committed that suicide homicide on you and your twin. So this was just like a healing of that old energy
Yeah.
that came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then, of course, you contacted me, and I did some
Yeah.
channeling for you.
Yeah, yes,
Um,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. You gave me some more of the puzzles, and she was even able to interact with my twin even more, because I was still in a state of like, understanding this. And actually, when I text you, I'm glad you didn't text right away. Spirit was like, because I was like, I need to talk to Maysha, I need to talk to Maysha. But Spirit was like, then you texted me probably about 20 minutes later. I started coming down and getting more information, so it happened exactly the way Spirit wanted to happen.
yeah. And what I was shown was that it wasn't really even though they used the car and the bridge and all of that. That was so it would be like more something that you would relate to, but actually it had been long, long ago. I mean, the word your twin used even was eons,
Yeah, yeah,
and I don't know if they mean that the way we mean it
yeah,
or not,
yeah.
but and so it hadn't really happened exactly that way, although it had happened.
Mhm.
And so dreams aren't necessarily literal, which we all know, but we get caught up in it. And so if you have something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be anxious now when you're driving over a bridge or
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
because it wasn't that.
yeah.
And I mean, we were shown so much, and of course, I feel his presence now too. So I know his energy now. So it wasn't necessarily exactly the dream was more of yes, that had happened, but it was all kind of a metaphor in many ways, plus also an opportunity for you to experience, although you didn't actually have to experience it, experience loss again and how that feels, and make that choice again of what to do. And um, and of course your twin wasn't with you here when you made the choice this time, but was cheering you on to make the right choice nonetheless,
Yeah.
because of the trauma it had caused for the two of you, which had, as he told me, been an issue now all this time, and that in every lifetime the two of you had been trying to clear it and you just couldn't clear it. And the two of you had decided on in this lifetime that if you weren't clearing it, it had to be cleared this lifetime, because we're raising the vibrational frequency of the planet. Twins have got to clear the energy between themselves this time. That is the goal. That's why we're here. And when I say got to, I'm not saying I don't want anyone to feel guilty if they haven't yet, but that is the reason we're here, is to clear all of this now. We're clearing what people on the other side are going through still. That's why we're doing all this ancestral clearing, because they're not in hunky-dory land either, are they? They're still going through it too, which we found out with Larry, because that's why he didn't choose to come back. You said he had the choice to come back when his accident happened. He told you.
Yeah.
Well, you all had planned that ahead of time. He wasn't clearing it this time. The two of you were not clearing it. And so the choice was, no, I'm going to have to transition, and we're going to have to clear it this way. And I can, oh my gosh, I feel him now. And he's so glad that the two of you have cleared it. But, so yeah, I mean, yeah,
It's deep. It can we don't realize, especially being in this physical form, that this all this work right here is very, very deep. We forgot a lot of our past, of course, and as we start to getting into this new arena of understanding the universe, understanding ourselves, understanding our place and connection with the universe, these past life traumas and events will come up for us to clear. Like you said, it's time for us to clear it.
um,
Yeah. And so it's a beautiful process. And at first it can be scary if you don't know what's going on. It can very much be scary, trust me. I've had to go through a lot of different things, but this is why I teach this now, so people won't have to go through different things that I went through at the beginning of their journey, so they can have a guide, a mentor there to help them through the process of understanding these energies that are coming up and how to walk with these energies and how to transmute them without them taking hold of their life and them getting stuck in shock. Because if I wasn't the person that I am now, I could have took it as my little child was going to die. I could have went in victim mode, could have been in scared mode, and took it that way. You see what I'm saying? So
And you would have gotten none of this
yeah,
clarity. I mean, if
yeah,
we're, of course, it happened now because you were ready for it now.
yeah,
That's another thing that our listeners need to understand is if you're not ready for something, because it's always best and highest
yeah,
good. That's why we can ask and ask and ask, but it's going to be best and highest good. If
yes,
we go to Akasha, people think they're going to Akasha and they can find out anything. No, you're only going to get best and highest good. I mean,
yeah,
that's all we ever get. So if you're given something like that, you are ready for it. You've got the tools within you. You've got
yeah,
the strength within you. You've made the progress within you. But we still have to stay present.
yes,
We have to come back to what we know. I mean, it's like we can know how to do anything, but if
yeah,
we don't use those skills,
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, absolutely,
I'm
you were
glad you said something about being present because that is the key.
yeah,
Because when those kind of things happen, our conscious mind will take us in that anxiety mode, that fear of the future, fear of things. Or we can go back to the past, like, okay, well, dang, if this happened in the past, then this could re-happen. So we could legitimately, if we don't stay present, let that part of ourselves run in whatever direction. As you stand present and knowing thyself and trusting the higher energies that you work with and that you are, then you're able to feel this peace and calm even in the eyes of this adversity coming your way.
absolutely, yeah. So being able to come to present was
Yeah.
definitely one of the skills that you were called to use here. I would say you were called to use several others though. um, so what else do you think helped you get through that and helped you put together that, okay, I need to calm down. This is what I need to do. What else do you think?
Well, I just started to really. I felt more of my higher self just saying, "Don't get into this. Don't take it any other way." And I'm just like, okay. So I sit my little ego version of my mind down. I sit my inner child version. I'm like, okay, we're gonna listen to our higher self. We're not gonna go in that direction. So it's really doing a lot of this inner work, talking to these different aspects of yourself, and
Yeah,
getting them to not get overexcited and overwhelmed. Trusting your higher self because your higher self knows what's good for you and what's good for the grand of all. So
yeah,
it's really having this trust, this trust, this faith that is just unwavering.
yeah. It's about transcending the mind, but doing so doesn't mean you have to fight with it.
Yeah,
In this case, it needed calm down. It needed you to nurture it, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what you did.
yeah,
Actually, you took care of your mind.
yeah,
Okay, this is safe. We're good.
yeah,
And you got the mind to accept what the higher self was saying. You could then hear
yeah,
when we get in our mind, when we get in the dimension of protection, the mind, the ego, which is what it is,
hmm
um, it keeps us from hearing. I mean, we can be clairaudient, we can be
hmm
clairsentient, we can be claircognizant, but when the mind is like, no, I'm rejecting all of that. We can't see that. We're making that up. It's not
hmm
real. Um, then we've got problems.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when actually we've got the skills.
yeah,
So it's really about managing our energy in motion or our emotions.
hmm hmm
That comes from, we've been talking, you and I, and all of our group, we have our core group.
hmm
We've all been talking about how we've come to this place, this, we're not depressed, we're not
hmm
sad, we're not any of those things. And we are certainly going up, our
hmm
vibrational frequency goes up like always, we get to
hmm
bliss, we get to joy and all of that. But when we feel that coming back down, we're coming to this like new set point, which is our vibrational frequency that we're here to be in. And so that's peace.
yeah, yeah,
And that's what you were talking about.
yeah,
That is mindfulness. That is peace. That is calm. That is tranquility. That is the place to live our life from and manifest from and all of those things, because then we don't dip down into the denser energies. That's rejecting those. That's keeping
hmm
the mind calm. That's working with people keep talking about killing ego or
yeah,
destroying ego. We need our ego. Our
yes,
ego has a beautiful job, and not
yes,
just keeping us safe. It also
yes,
gives us our self esteem. It gives us,
yes,
I'm right, I'm worth all that.
yes,
I mean,
yes,
because
yes, yes,
we need that.
yeah,
But we also have to bring it on board with us too.
yes, very much so. That's a part of integrating. I never teach getting rid of the ego. I teach
Right.
integrating with the ego.
Integrate.
As you learn how to integrate with your higher self comes on board. You integrate with your ego self and your trauma wounds and your shadow self. Like sometimes I sit down with my higher self. This is one thing my higher self has recently started showing me. We would sit down on a bench and I would see this higher energy, knowing it's me. But then my little aspects of myself would represent as little children, like the ego mind is a little child, and this little child is the shadow and all that stuff. And then the higher stuff, when I feel it anxious of those parts of me getting on board, the higher self will just be in this calm energy and just calm us down. And then that's when I am able to be centered and calm because I know my higher self is in control now.
Right. So that's our goal.
Yeah.
Whether you've just lost your twin, whether you've lost them a long time ago and you're still dealing with it, which I can't imagine. So I'm
Yeah.
or whether whether this has happened to you at all. Maybe you've had a bad dream. Maybe something has happened in your life or whatever. This state that we're talking about, this peace that we're talking about. For so many years, we have heard about this,
Yeah.
the peace that passes all understanding. I
Yeah.
mean, to get Judeo-Christian here,
Yeah.
Because that is most of us, our background in this
Yeah.
area. So,
Mhm.
but it's true. I
Yeah.
mean, there's this peace that, okay, I don't like how this is.
Yeah.
This isn't what I want at all.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why this is happening. I've been putting out good energy. Why
Yeah.
is this happening? But you celebrate the fact that you have reached this point where you're ready for it, and it's for the good of your soul, for sure, your whole beingness.
Mhm.
And if it's good for yours, as we know, it's
Mhm.
good for our twins, because
Yeah.
we are so connected that everything we heal, we either heal that same thing in them or something that they're mirroring there. So this whole experience in your case was totally about the two of you and
Mhm.
healing that. But so if they're experiencing other things, that could be, it could be that you're actually doing healing work for both of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could actually, yeah, be doing healing work for both of you. Actually, before I even knew all this, one of the things that my twin passed away, he did tell me that it was some things that we still had to clear. It wasn't very aware of what I had to clear, but back then I knew it was some things we were still clearing. And I knew about the different traumas that we've, caused on each other and stuff like that. So this was just a big eye opener and a big awakening for me. And let me tell you, actually, I don't even think I told you this, Maysha. Actually, the day before this happened, I was driving in my car and I only had like a scarf on the seat. So, a scarf isn't going to pick up the sensor on the seat. So when the sensor on the seat was saying a passenger was sitting over there, I was driving. And at first I was like, I started asking, I intuitively knew it was my twin, but I didn't really go to him first. I started saying, is this a dragon energy? Is this, other guys? And no, no, no. As soon as I said my twin, the seatbelt went off.
Wow.
I
Love
just,
how the universe does
yes,
things.
yes, I do.
We have to be aware and
Yes,
looking for those things. That is
yes,
part of awareness too.
yes,
Because
yes,
we've been taught that, oh, that's
yeah.
coincidence. Don't
Well,
pay
that's
attention to stuff
crazy.
like that. You're
Yeah,
making more of that than
yeah,
what it is. No, that's called being consciously aware.
yes,
That
yes,
that is conscious awareness. That is realizing that everything that happens, that is it's not that it's being orchestrated. It's that it's okay, this is going to happen anyway. That is the energy for it.
yeah,
And so we are going to use it in this way,
yeah,
Of course, with your seat, that's probably something they were making happen.
yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah,
but when it's like what we're doing, the choices we're making, what we're bringing in, they
yeah,
look at that and they're like, okay, how can we use that? Okay, she's bringing this in. How
yeah,
do we use that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was powerful for me because I feel like even now thinking about it, he was even being there saying, I'm here for you because you're about to go through something the day before. I didn't even know this was going to happen in my dream. So, yeah.
So, how do you feel now that you've been through this? I mean, where's
I,
it taken you to?
I feel even more of a deeper level of peace. Like I already felt peace, but I feel a deeper level of peace because I was able to stand on the edge of what you would look at destruction again and make a different decision. And even when I talked to you yesterday, and you even brought it, even just because I wasn't even looking at myself that way, the strength that I've had, the strength that I've gained over these lifetimes. Like, and another thing you said to me yesterday too, I didn't even acknowledge it until you said it. You said, Gabby, you go after things. You go after them. You don't run away from things. And I'm looking like, Maysha's right. I don't run away from things, and I definitely haven't been running away from things lately. And I'm just like, that shows my power. So that even made me have even more faith in myself, in my power, and my strength. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I mean, and that's what we need to always do in any of this. Anything we're shown like this, that it's meant to, everything is meant to be a mirror for us so we can see. So always don't jump to the negative. Don't
yeah,
jump to what is this showing me that I've done wrong, because none of this is to show us what we've done wrong.
yeah,
All of it is to show us you were at this level of consciousness. This is what you need to see now. And it's also we can become at a higher level of consciousness, and so we can love ourselves more.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah, I mean, I was so proud of you because you didn't contact me saying you're not going to believe what I
yeah,
did. You weren't in any of that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you were totally, you long since forgiven all of that. You
yeah,
were, okay, it happened.
yeah,
It was another lifetime even,
yeah,
but you weren't in any of that energy. You were
yeah,
just in the energy of, well, I had to calm myself down because they used a scenario with my son. But of course,
yeah,
they did that to put you in the energy
yeah,
that you had to make that choice.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but this is something you chose for yourself. That's the other thing too, is we now know, and we didn't know this before. We really never understood why before. Now we understand why you all chose to do this journey this way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was good clarification after that. I mean, I already knew some aspects of it, but this even ingrained that even more, of the work that we have to do, the work that we're doing, the things that we're healing, as we're more in union with each other. So yeah, it's very much powerful.
Well, one of the first shows we did, I talked about how I had been shown that we can opt out of the mission if the mission's not going right,
Yeah,
and um, I've been given that option, which
yeah,
blew my mind because I didn't believe that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
whenever I got before the council and they said, "Okay, are you ready to throw in the towel?" and I'm like, "What? No."
no,
You know, one, I didn't believe it. I was shocked. Of course,
yeah,
I didn't believe in the council either until they were there. So,
yeah,
so for those who are like, "What council?" Well, they'll show up. Just wait.
yeah. They
But
will show up.
they'll show up. I remember telling you, you're the first person I told about the council, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, "You're not gonna believe this," and you're like, "Oh, girl, yeah, I've been going there for a while," and I'm like, "Oh, thank God." And now, but now I talk to all kinds of people who do.
Yeah.
But the other part is, in thinking about it in the past 24 hours, I know someone else who I was shown that they made that choice. They were given the choice of, okay, come on over, or are you going to stay? And I was shown like the conversation that was had between them and Source. And it was, listen, this is what you went there to do. This is what you signed up for. This is who you are. Are you going to wake up to it? Or what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't realize at the time because they didn't let me see. They didn't let me see what that person actually went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't understand at the time. I just knew I was being called up, and I witnessed this, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, why am I seeing this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but it wasn't. I didn't get that it was that they had been given that. I don't know how didn't know
Yeah.
how the chance was given to them,
Yeah.
but and it was, you know, you've got the strength to do this.
Yes. Yes.
This is who you are.
Yes.
And I witnessed that person saying, "You're right. This is who I am."
Yeah.
And but whatever it is they have to clear here, obviously, is very different than what you have to clear. And obviously, you all had spent, I don't know how many lifetimes, girl, trying to clear this. So, but I've lost a child, so I know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. I
yeah,
know.
yeah. So that's something to clear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and course, mine was not a baby. I knew that mine was going to happen. I had so much longer to deal with it than you did. So that's the other thing too. If we find out we've done something like this in a past lifetime, talk about how you look at yourself and how you don't go into that mode of, oh my God, look what I did, or how do you do that?
It's a fact of knowing that we're here to experience life. And we've all been, the way I kind of look at it is that we've all been the victim in one lifetime. We've all been the perpetrator in one lifetime. So we really have no space to judge anyone in any lifetime. So I go into the energy of we're all from source. We're all experiencing these different things. So we've all did certain things, you know. So let me not judge myself. Let me trust the energy that I'm feeling. Let me trust myself. Let me love. Love is the foundation, because if you don't love yourself, you would judge these things.
Yes.
Loving yourself is at your core. Building up a rapport with yourself of unconditional love is actually the work that I teach before we even get into trauma work. Because if you don't have that foundation there, then you're building a house on sticks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like the tarot card where
Yeah.
they were all fighting with the
Yeah.
words. Yeah, they're all building a house on sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So trusting yourself, loving yourself unconditionally, and then trusting the higher power that you're working with, because that is you. That is you in a grander aspect. So it's all about trust, unconditional love, and faith.
I love that you said about unconditional love for self, because we talk about that a lot. I teach a lot about relationships and what it means in terms of all relationships, about how we don't show up with a list of conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the unconditional part. But we show up with, this is how this is what you can expect of me.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't show up with, this is what I want from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I expect of you. No conditions.
Yeah.
That's what's unconditional about it. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
we take whatever somebody does.
Yeah.
It means we don't show up with conditions. They tell us how they're going to show up,
Yeah.
which is what we did when we incarnated. But when you're doing that with yourself, when you give yourself that, okay, there's no conditions here.
Yeah.
There's no, okay, I'm I'm not going to accept that I'm in a level of consciousness where maybe I don't do that all the time or whatever. There's no conditions. But just because it's unconditional, no conditions, you show up in relationship with self, but still, this is how I said I would show up. And so that's what you work toward. And you wake up more and more to that all the time. And that's how your level of vibration comes up. That's how your level of consciousness comes up. So that's unconditionally loving yourself, is not beating yourself up when you don't make this,
Yes.
but it's acknowledging,
Yeah.
hey, I said I would be this.
Yes.
We're putting ourselves in our vibrational frequency.
Yes.
And we can't love ourselves more than that.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm glad you said that. I actually, this whole conversation is just bringing up an imagery in my mind of I don't think I was in meditation one day, and source energy came to me, and only thing I could, we were in the middle of like space, we were just in the middle of blackness, and never, you know, got an image of source, just felt the presence of source, but I felt myself as a little light being, and source kind of got me out the ground and stood up and said, wake up, my child, you're up. And I stood up in this form of this light being that was just like, I knew my power. And ever since then, I've been achieving to go towards that energy, and I can feel the vibration of that energy getting closer and closer to match within myself. And so I always go into that when I'm faced with adversity. I go into, sources told me I'm here to do this. Wake up, my child. You can do this, you know. So I have to go into the energy.
Yeah, wake up, wake up. We're trying to show you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love how you talk about being a light being, because so
Yeah.
many people we're really caught up now into the whole light body
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what that is about is we are light beings. The universe subdivided itself to expand consciousness. And then, of course, we were all divided again to cause the twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
But we're each these light beings, massive light beings,
Yeah, yeah.
that only so much energy can incarnate into. So the higher our vibrational frequency gets, the more of the codes we reactivate to reactivate all the things in us that we have shut down, the more of that light being that we are, we can embody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's becoming a light body. And the process is going to be that they're going to keep refining this
Mhm.
until it is a smooth, seamless, that, and that's just going to continue on and on and on until we get to that point where it's a smooth and seamless. We're not going to have, it's not going to be an issue. This body is going to be able to embody so much that, and it's going to be seamless. But that's what we're getting to, and that's why we're all having to clear all of this, because in the lives we've had before, because I know, like we talked about earlier, people want to think that everything is great now. When we transition, we're still this light being that was embodied here, and that makes up the whole tapestry of unconditional love, which is the
Mhm.
universe. So if we still have these things that we have not cleared, that we were holding on to, these things, or just the fact that we are aware of, in a lifetime I did this,
Mhm.
and we don't forgive ourselves, that's holding on to dense energy.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so it's not just here on the planet that we've got to release these dense energies to raise the vibration, but it's okay, even if you've transitioned, you're still one of these light bodies that is, it's right here, it's right here, it's right there. I can't see it because it's another dimension, but it's here.
Mhm.
Just like I can't see the rest of me that is
Mhm.
here coming down. We still have to clear it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what we're doing, is we're clearing all of this. Yes.
You were talking about the clearing energies in our body.
Yes.
And I want to talk a little bit how this relates to different sicknesses and illnesses, because I've healed over 90 something percent of my illnesses. Only thing I really even deal with now is a little allergies, but that isn't even bad as it used to be, you know. But with that being said, I want to talk a bit more about that energetically. um, I was on Clubhouse last night, and a wonderful coach on Clubhouse that teaches human design, astrology, and he teaches gene key therapy. And so I got on stage and I was talking to him, and he brought some things to my awareness last night that I always said that Spirit had to do first before I could get into the level of what I'm working on now. So
Mhm.
let me just get into what he kind of brought into my awareness.
Sure.
So I am an Aries Taurus cusp. So I have those both energies within me.
Whoa.
I
Whoa, girl. Earth and air. Listen
know.
to this.
Earth and fire.
Fire. Right. I was getting
Yes,
ready to
earth
know
and
it's
fire.
fire. Earth and
Yes,
fire.
yes.
Yeah.
And I actually played with fire this weekend for the first time too.
I know you told me. Yeah.
Yes. But so anyway, the energy, so he was saying about the different zodiac signs, and what I knew different zodiac signs hold a like blueprint for certain different ailments and stuff like that, diseases. So he was saying for Tauruses, it's more so of the circulatory system, the heart system. I had congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
And for the Aries, he said it's more of the neurological system. I used to have occipital neuralgia, migraines, all those different things, fibromyalgia, all those different
I know,
things.
girl. I know.
And-
He's nailing you, isn't he? He's got you pegged.
I know, right? And so as me doing this energetic work, learning more about this energetic work, uprooting those when we talk about those different traumas and stuff from different lifetime, clearing those dense energies, I've been able to heal myself through energetic work. You know, I used to be on 20 something pills a day that was draining the mess out of my life, you know, and I'm not saying anything towards, you know, pharmaceutical medicine or anything like that. I'm just saying that it is when we get in tune with ourselves, we're able to heal ourselves. Even pharmaceutical medicine tests it against the placebo effect, which is still the body healing itself. So
Yes.
once we learn how to understand ourselves and our energetic centers, we're able to bring transformation in every area of our life. But he said that to say, because now the season that I'm working on is my energetic exchange with money. So he brought that up. He said because the flow of money has to do with flow, and if your circulatory system isn't flowing right, then money isn't going to flow right in your life. So I just recently got the diagnosis that my congestive heart failure is healed. So I'm
Yay.
looking like I already said that I was working on my money related thing, and it's just proved to me that Spirit had to take me in a direction to heal my physical vessel for me to be able to show up and be of service to people, and for me to be able to enjoy the abundance that is flowing into my life. So I wanted to say that to see that let everybody see that everything is connected to thyself.
It is. And I'm glad you brought up the placebo effect,
Yeah.
because for years we've been told by science
Mm-hmm.
that The mind can do amazing things. Look what the mind does when we trick it to think that it's taking medicine. The mind is doing the mind. No, the mind is getting out of the way. The placebo tricks the mind into, oh wow, I'm taking something here. So the mind, excuse me, the mind gets out of the way. And then the rest of us is able to step up and do the work. So that's what placebo effect is always about.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So placebo effect, that's exactly what all of that is. So
Yeah,
and again, I'm glad you said that you're not against Western medicine
yeah,
because
no,
it takes both. We are in a physical body.
yeah,
And if we don't have the energetics in place yet,
yeah,
definitely need it.
yes,
But and it can definitely work together
yeah,
because there's butterfly effect going on. We can be doing all the energy work we want, but there still may be some things that we just aren't there yet. And
yeah.
so, but and I too have healed so much of, I don't have the fog as I did, except but I have to stay like this or I am sick again.
Yeah.
So raising our conscious awareness and doing the work, it's not something that is, well, okay, I used to meditate, I used to rest like that,
Yeah.
I used to honor myself,
Yeah.
I can quit that now, I did all that.
No.
No.
No. No. It is a lifestyle. It is
It
not
is.
it is not a phase. It is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle of it's a relationship with yourself. What it really is. A relationship with thyself, loving thyself, knowing thyself, honoring thyself. This is what all these practices are about, because once you have that strong foundation within yourself, you're able to go off into the world and do great things for others. You're able to show up. It's all about having sovereignty within thyself. So, yes.
Yeah. I think too, the twin flame journey is really about yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely is. When my twin was here, actually, I didn't realize that I started my spiritual awakening when we met each other. It was like, yeah. During that time, I got really, really sick. I used to be almost 300 pounds, got really sick, started losing weight dramatically because I was sick. I was diagnosed with gastroparesis, which is intestinal issues. During that time, we were together and we broke up. And when we broke up, he had to learn how to heal himself with one of his soulmates, and I had to learn how to love and heal myself by myself. And so, yeah, it
Which
wasn't
is why
working.
you are in my life, girl.
It wasn't working the other way. so so I honor him, and I honor their relationship too, because they played a big part in the evolution of where we are now. um but yes, so it is about thyself, because if we didn't take that break and break up, we wouldn't have gotten the healing that I needed on my own, and he wouldn't have got the healing that he needed by being with another companion to reflect that to him, because I couldn't reflect that to him. I had to do my own energetic work. So it's very, very much of thyself.
Yeah, it is. And that's the other thing too. We talked about that peace you get
Yeah.
to. Of course, there is that I want to be with my twin
Yeah.
because I mean, once you've met them and they light you up like
Yeah.
nobody else can. And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
you want. But you also come to this place of peace that, okay, I don't want to be with them if they're not ready.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hurt that person.
Mhm.
It doesn't even become about because they're going to hurt me anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, at first it's I don't want to be
Yeah.
with them because they're just going to hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you get to the point where it's I don't want to be with them because it's going to hurt them.
Yeah.
They're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
They're not going to be happy with me.
Yeah.
And so you get to that point where that's even how you look at things. I mean, it is about you. You are protecting you,
Mhm.
but you don't even kind of stop at that
Yeah.
point. You just
Yeah.
kind of, that's a given.
Yeah.
I take care of me. That's a
Yeah.
given.
Yeah.
But I do it in a way that is loving for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if they don't see it at the time, they can feel like you're walking away or whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're not chasing them anymore. You're
Yeah.
not fighting to have them in
Yeah.
your life anymore. You're not. No, you've just come to peace and
Yeah.
you realize that you're not doing them any good.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because it brings it to the perspective of the runner chaser
Yeah.
scenario. And actually, if you go over to, I have a website that's a blog site for I make sure I have the link in the bio for the twin flame and afterlife. It has a lot of different articles about the runner chase and a lot of different perspectives of the twin flame journey. But that goes into that as well. When we become at peace with ourselves and where we are in our journey, we stop being the runner and we stop being the chaser.
Stop being
Because
either one.
either one, we stop being either one because we're not playing that role anymore. We're becoming sovereign over thyself, and we're letting our counterpart become sovereign over their self and make their decisions. It's not forcing our wills upon each other.
Right, absolutely. Because expectation of someone is actually manipulation of someone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And them having expectations of you, they don't
Yeah.
realize it.
Yeah.
But they're manipulating you too. You know,
Yeah.
manipulation is far different than maybe we think of it.
Yeah.
It's putting expectations on someone and expecting them to meet it.
Yeah.
You're manipulating who they are.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I mean, we've got to show up. And here's the beauty of it too. It's your twin.
Yeah.
So if you will get, that is what the yin and yang is of it.
Yeah.
Because the light and dark that you're talking about, and how that, and the yin and yang symbol, you know how it kind of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
one comes in this
Mm-hmm.
way, and one comes in this way,
Mm-hmm.
almost like the 6 and the 9 put together.
Yeah.
I know where somebody's mind went with that, but no, that's not what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are light that goes into the dark,
Mm-hmm.
and we are dark that goes into the light.
Mm-hmm.
And that is each of us.
Yes.
But then also we come together kind of that way too.
Yeah.
But so it's a given that if you can get to that place yourself of being healed,
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and we're never totally healed, but
Yeah.
to that place of peace that we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. And that comes with, even if you're not in a twin flame relationship, you haven't met your twin flame and you're just in a regular relationship, which is good. Yeah. A soulmate relationship or whatever kind of relationship you're in. Because that is very, very much true. My boyfriend that I'm in a relationship with now, we had a little conversation this morning, and we don't have a lot of compatibilities in some ways. I'm more of a person that loves, and the more that I learn about myself and about my love language, because I did not know about those things before I healed myself, before I got to this place of understanding about myself. My love language is a little different. I like to be more of a touchy-feely, with someone, like that,
touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
I'm more of a touchy-feely, I want to be, in your company, in your essence. We don't have to be together all the time because I have work to do and you have work to do,
Absolutely.
But I want us to enjoy our time together, and I know we're busy, for us to cultivate a time center to spend for just ourselves, not children or anyone else, but just ourselves. But his love language is a little different, and we kind of had a conversation about that. I said, I really don't think we're compatible in that way, and he's doing his journey, his healing as well too, and I'm of knowledge of that. But I said that to say that I had to express, and if you don't express these things with your partner, if you're in a relationship or not, you don't express these things with your partner, you can't get into your head about this is what they should know about me. Because if you're doing this work, you're learning more about yourself as well. I didn't know about this with my love language. In the past, I used to be promiscuous and stuff like that. I used to give my body away and stuff like that. I didn't love myself. So as I learned to love myself and trust myself and have sovereignty over myself, I'm like, you know what? I know my love language now. I'm understanding more about Gabrielle. So I was able to convey that to him in a way, like we were talking about, not for him to act any kind of way. I don't want you to go outside of your range of anything, but just to have an understanding of where I'm at on my journey. And sometimes we can have blockers up that we're not even aware of where our self-love is. And he said, well, I'm that way too, but that isn't thing that he shows. So that's just showing that, work that needs to be done in that area and stuff like that. But I said that to say, when you're telling someone about how you are and what you're discovering about yourself, don't get on the bad way and saying, this is what you need to do for me. It's just saying that this is how I'm learning to love myself, and however that energy flows, if the energies come together and you work on yourself and you love yourself more and we come together and mesh together, it's beautiful. If not, then I have respect for however anything ends up. You know what I mean? And that's how we're able to have a more harmony relationship, whether it's twin flames or not twin flames or with anyone, because we're having sovereignty over ourselves, we're respecting ourselves, but we're also respecting how they show up, because your love language might be a little different from mine, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's what the dimension of the relationship is for, is to have those conversations, because whether it's twin flame or not, if you're not mirroring back to one another what's going on with yourselves, and you're going to be drawn to somebody that the mirroring is going to They're going to see themselves in you, and that's what you're going to attract in. That's what attraction is.
Yeah.
So twin flame or not, but if you don't discuss what's going on, so that's the issue. If you have somebody who won't have a conversation with you, how do we deal with that? I mean, like you had to deal with it. Look what you all have been through so many lifetimes.
Yeah.
And it came to the point that I'm quite sure that a discussion about something like this never came up with you all even. So one, we have to be consciously aware that we need to discuss something. But as we are becoming aware of things like that, how do you handle when somebody won't talk with you about the stuff? What do you do then? Okay. All right. So how do we handle that when the other person is at a level of consciousness or the mind is interfering and we can't have these conversations? What do we do with that?
And that's been one of the things that I've been working through with my relationship now. First off, I tell people, don't get into victim mode. Don't start to blaming the other person.
Absolutely.
We're all at levels of understanding. We're all at levels of healing, of course, because that ego mind will try to take you, well, this person is doing this to me. They're mistreating me, and they should know that. Don't go into those energies. Find your center, find your peace, and see that we're all on this healing journey. We're just doing it in our own different way. Right. Now, you do have sovereignty over yourself to say, well, do I want to stay in this relationship to work through these energies, or do I want to get out of a relationship, learn more about myself, and attract that energy that's vibrational alignment with where I'm at now. So if you decide to stay in this kind of relationship, it's a learning process for both of you guys. You guys are both healing and doing this work just on different levels. And so you have to have sovereignty over thyself. You have to start trusting thyself. You have to have this unshakable understanding with yourself of where you are, and understand where that person is too, without judgment. That's the big thing. Judgment will break any molds, because you're not letting that energy of unconditional love flow. The energy of unconditional love does not judge.
That's judgment. That is the opposite.
It's the opposite.
That is labeling. That is judgment. And we don't want to be judged when we're in a level of consciousness that someone else is not. And so that goes back to the simple way to do this. The honest to God, simple quantum leap to all of this is every situation. How would I want to be treated? Yes. If it were me, how would I want to be treated? Okay, if you're the one that's out doing whatever that's hurting that person or whatever, do you want them lashing out at you? Do you how do you want to be treated? Okay, so I know I'm doing something that is bothering someone. I mean, we know when we're doing that. But how do I want to be treated while I'm doing it? Okay. And then treat that yourself that way. Don't blame yourself. Don't lash out at yourself. Whatever. Don't take it and reflect it inward. We'll do that instead. We'll do that. Well, it must be my fault. What have I done? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Treat yourself the same way. No, hold on a second. It's the level of consciousness. But then what you reflect back out is, okay, I'm not judging you, but I loved how you said it's our choice to stay in the relationship or not. Because if it's becoming too much for you, if you just think you can't, all you can do is, okay, that's where they're at. So step back and I take care of me and I heal and grow. And what that will do, if they heal and grow too, that will attract them back in, because especially twin flame, that's your divine counterpart. But that's the only way you're going to attract them back in. And you don't want them if they don't come to that level of consciousness, because you've already rejected, okay, I can't do this. I can't be in this energy. So
it's all about having sovereignty over thyself. Once you understand yourself and learn how to articulate that to someone else, without, and I like to say this too, because sometimes when we haven't done certain levels of healing, articulation can come off as abrasive. It can be harsh. It can be, and we have to really sit and monitor and be mindful of how this energy is being projected. And I was so proud of myself, the way that it came out. When it came out, I'm like, wow, Gabrielle, that is real growth. Because the old me, the little Gabby, would have lashed out and been like, you're not doing this right. You're not doing this to me.
You're hurting me. Why are you doing this? Why don't you see this? Why can't I make you see this?
And we have to be aware too of the energies, that the mirroring that they're doing to us. So those different kind of energies that they have within herself are triggering certain things within us that needs to be healed. So I can give you another little example. It was one day that I wanted to spend some time with my boyfriend and he didn't want to, and my little inner child came out and felt abandoned again. I
Yeah.
went into that energy of abandonment when my mom left, when she got on drugs and stuff like that. And but me being more aware now, I didn't go into victim mode. I was able to get my ego back because it tried to go there and started trying to lash out and do little things. I was able to bring that part of myself back, center that part of myself back, and say, you know what? This is the hurt, wounded part of myself that needs to be healed. So I was ready to get up that next day and come outside and spend time in nature and ground in nature and get into the belly of Mother Earth and center those energies and cry and expel those energies out, because that was the wounded part of me that was wounded by my childhood trauma. So I felt like someone wasn't showing me the love and affection that I needed as a kid. So I was able to realize that and go into that energy and heal that and talk to the aspect of myself, nurture her and love her and show her that she's perfectly safe the way she is.
Yeah, and put it in tarot language again, because so many people do that. So
Yeah.
many people are into that world. You had a tower moment,
Yeah.
but um, what you did is you did what we're all doing. Our
Yeah.
lives are a spiral, and you recognized it, so you didn't get into the denser energies. But you knew, but I need to clear this because
Yeah.
the reason the things circle back around to us. We talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
It's because we're ready. It's our best and
Mhm.
highest good. We're going to circle back. People think they're not healing. Yes, you're healing. It circled back to you, but look how quickly you recognized it.
Yeah.
And look what you did. You went and took yourself and you released it and
Yes.
you healed yourself,
Yes.
which is what we're to do. And that's spiraling upward, which I've talked
Mhm.
about now for years and had no clue why I was telling
Mhm.
people don't spiral downward, spiral upward, and that's healing, and I had no clue why. But yes, I could be quite the Queen of Swords because
Yeah.
I'm assertive. I mean,
Yeah.
there is nothing
Yeah.
passive about me, and I can't stand passive aggressive. And
Yeah.
when someone won't communicate with me, and
Yeah.
passive aggressive is the only way, can I be the queen of that too? Yes.
Yeah. I can be the
Because
queen of that. So I used
yeah,
to be the queen of
but I
that.
don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Me
want
either.
somebody to talk to me. I want
Yeah.
them to look me in the eye and talk to me because
Yeah.
messaging, don't do that because you are going to say it. Because when you message, somebody can take that and they can turn that into anything they
Oh
want. When
yes.
you write
Yes.
somebody a message on here,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they're in a different frequency
Yeah.
than you, that they will take that and they can make that anything
Anything.
they
Any.
want.
You could say
So
one word. I remember my twin flame was here. He texted me one day and said what or something, and I'm like, what? I
what?
just
You
got.
wait, yeah, I know. I mean, that's all it takes. So don't do this. If
Yeah.
you can't talk to someone face to face or Zoom or something where you can see each other and make sure that you're communicating, just don't. I mean, if they
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
talk to you face to face, don't, because
Yeah.
it is going, no matter what you say, how
Yeah.
clearly you say it. And
Yeah.
I'm one that sends videos for that
Yeah.
reason, so they can see. But
Yeah.
there are some topics that's not even enough for, because they can still look at it,
Yeah.
and you don't have the chance to counter or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And no matter if you're a Queen of Swords or not, you're going to come across as one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to come across as being sharp,
Yeah.
being critical, when all you're trying to do is communicate. And then that's going to frustrate you, and I'll be damned, you will turn into a Queen of
Yeah.
Swords. I'm telling you, because of the frustration.
Yeah.
And so that's something I've healed from. Is I'm like, okay, I want to say so much right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I can't say it face to face.
Mhm.
I can't be there to interact and say,
Mhm.
no, let's clarify. That is
Yeah.
not what I meant.
Yeah.
And if I can't do that, the only thing I can do is walk away from that, because I'm not a Queen of Swords, and I do not want to be seen as one.
Yeah.
I don't want to drop into the frustration level and
Yeah.
become one.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so that's sovereignty of self. That's what
Yeah.
sovereignty of self is. That's deciding for yourself what's best for me here.
Mhm.
It's best for me because that's how I would want someone else to treat me.
Mhm.
I don't want somebody else to send me something for me to then, well, what do they mean by that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and get all hurt and in my
Yeah.
feelings about
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'm treating somebody the way I want to be treated. I'm saying, hold on a second. I'm not getting into this cycle. And
Yeah.
that so it's always about sovereignty of self is always about how you're going to show up in the world.
Yeah.
Always. I was listening to a tarot reader last night. Oh my gosh, she was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I get led to these people.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because I listen to the teachings.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how, and I teach this, but she was saying in a different way, how we do this spiritual practice and then we get to a point and we're like, okay, I've got this now. We get to the point of, okay, I'm going to take sovereignty over myself. I'm da 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 da. And
Yeah.
then she's like, but then we want to stay there.
Yeah.
And we don't want to take it to the next level, which is
Yeah.
okay. So because I'm doing this, I show up this way, and we don't want to take it to the, which I'm constantly teaching
Yeah.
that self-care.
Yeah.
We messed that up when we stopped with, okay, got my barriers. I'm
Yeah.
taking care of me now. Well,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
You're not showing up in the world when you got all these barriers. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why we're here.
I'm glad you said that. That exact same conversation came up last night with my boyfriend. He was like, "Well, I'm just at a place right now where I am detaching from things." I said, "That's wonderful. That shows your growth. That you're becoming sovereign over thyself. You're learning and understanding yourself, and now it's time to embody the unconditional love. It's time to embody more than just unconditional love for thyself. Let me have my walls up, but let me learn how to walk in this reality with unconditional love and be an unconditional love that I am and produce that out into the world, into people around me." So that is the next phase of the journey.
That is it. That
Yeah.
is what this woman was saying. Whoever she was reading for,
Yeah.
she was saying, okay, please don't take this as Spirit is criticizing you. Spirit
Yeah.
is acknowledging
Yeah.
how far you've come
Yeah.
because you have detached from having emotional responses from things.
Yes. Yes.
You have grown enough that you know, okay, I'm going to control this. She said, but here's the issue. The issue is you're like, I'm cool now. I'm in control. I'm cool. I'm in control. You have detached from
Yeah.
emotion.
Yes. Yes.
And and I call that over course correction. Detachment is over course correction.
I call it turn off your humanity switch like Vampire Diaries.
Right. So now you have to come back to center and be like, okay, I've learned how to not overreact to things. I've learned how to not get up in my emotions about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to come back though, because you've detached. You're sailing through life and you think that wow, I am evolved. I am, because none of this is touching me.
Yeah.
Okay. That is not what we're here for.
Yeah.
And you're hurting yourself by doing that because that is, if you go within, you're going to find you're getting more and more detached because
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing the next level of growth.
Mm-hmm.
When you're hurting yourself, you're not here to be detached. So now it's time to come back to center and reattach, become emotional again, but do it at the right level.
Yes.
At sovereignty of self.
Yes.
And not having expectations of others, which is what hurt your feelings before.
Yeah.
That's what we get all up in our feelings.
Yeah.
We're living with the expectation instead of the no conditions, but here's what you can expect of me.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm going to take responsibility and show up that way as much as I can. And if I can't, please understand because I'm going to understand about you.
Yeah.
And that's the level we're to get to. But to get there, we first have to detach.
Yes.
And then the problem is we get too comfortable with that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm just going to stay this way.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to have the life you came here for.
No.
Detached.
No. Because unconditional love, the energy of unconditional love of what we are has to flow. It cannot be stagnant. That's what happens. The energy gets caught up and get locked up. That's why all these centers and stuff are locked up and closed. So we have to let that love flow through us. And as we become centered within ourselves, then we're able to be the vibration of that love. And then we're able to put that out into the world, within our family, within our, within the environment.
And the other thing is too, when we recognize that someone has detached from emotion that way, that is not about us.
Yeah, nope.
You cannot make that about, you can't go into, well, what have I done wrong? What can I do differently? What can I say? That's that runner chaser energy again.
Yeah.
They've detached.
Yeah.
And you've taken it upon yourself that there's something I must have said or done.
Yeah.
It is not about you.
Nope.
They detached because that's the level of consciousness they're at.
Yeah.
And you can try till the cows come home to ruminate in your head and figure out, well, what am I doing wrong? You didn't do anything. You're just being you and your level of consciousness.
Yeah.
And they don't want to deal with that. They want to detach from it. And all you can do is take care of you at that point. When somebody is detaching from you, it's selfish to keep imposing yourself on them.
Yeah.
And you're only hurting you.
Yeah.
you're hurting yourself when you
Yeah.
do that. Talk
Yeah.
about playing yourself.
Yeah.
You're playing yourself. You're
Yeah.
making yourself a victim when you keep imposing yourself on somebody who makes it clear, I don't want you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
detaching from you.
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
how's it going with the contest, Gabrielle?
Oh yes, so I made it to round two. I am in round two right now. Round two lasts for 6 days, so it's six. The timer's on for 6 days. I don't know how many people they're gonna get over to the third round, which is the last round. So I'm still in second place. Keep me in second place or get me in first place.
Yes.
And then after the third round, they said filming will start in I think August or July. So yeah.
So is third round voting again? Is that what
Yeah,
third
but
round
third
is?
round is voting again. Yeah, so the
Okay.
second round is still voting. We're doing this for a week, and then I don't know how long the third round is going to be. Probably another week or so. And then after that, then they will take those people that won, and then those will be the people inside of the competition that's going on to be on TV. And so then that's when filming starts in July and August. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for voting and continue to vote for your coach.
Okay. Now, when they go into round three, does
Uh-huh.
that start it over again where you get another free vote, or is it?
I don't know. They hadn't said anything about that, so I don't know if you get any more free votes. I think you just might have to pay for those additional votes. And
Okay.
they're $1 per vote. And those funds go to the JED Foundation, which is for mental health and suicide awareness, which is very, very important to me because I used to suffer from those things. My oldest son used to suffer from those things. So that's really important to me within itself because they're doing a lot in the community for young children and young adults that are suffering in silence with mental health and suicide awareness. So that's
And
very
do
important.
you realize what all you just said? I mean, you realize how we started this show, and you realize what you just said. Your that the money is going to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't make this stuff
You
up,
can't make this
girl.
up. No, you cannot
You
make this up.
cannot make this stuff up. When people say y'all are nuts, y'all are in woo woo, y'all are crazy, y'all are imagining things, look at this. We are not imagining anything. I mean, the very contest you're in, that is what you're doing. And
Yes.
you didn't know any of that. That
No.
is what you had to heal. That's what you and your twin, that's what you did not know that that's what it was. But yet
Yes.
that is the very work you're doing now. That's what all
Yes.
this contest is about for you.
Yes.
And yeah, talk about full circle.
Yeah.
Talk about
Full.
knowing.
Full.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Okay. He's back. So Larry says hi, and he's just so thrilled with what you're doing, and he's like, I can't believe it took y'all that long to figure that out. Well, we didn't have the perspective you
I
had.
know.
Well, of course, if people are interested in the Twin Flame compilation book, absolutely, I'll have the link there too. We are still looking for people to do that. And the wonderful thing is that you do this book, you get your story out there. We're going to make sure that we do the energy management of that process so you know what your back end is of what you're going to do. So you write the story that way, and then you show up in front of your audience in a certain way to create that positive energy loop that writing this book can actually become your business, or it can become your passion, or you can just do it because you want to get the story out and then you want to disengage from it. Maybe it's a healing thing for you, but you will know that up front because we're going to manage it with energy management, which is what Gabrielle and I both teach. And by doing this book, you're going to have the benefit of coaching from us, which that alone for either one of us is
Yeah.
is way more than what being in the book is, because it is a compilation book, which means you do pay to be in. I want to say that up front because many people don't know that about compilation books. You pay to be in those.
Mhm.
Most of them know you don't get all this coaching. We're going to coach you,
Yeah.
just like we're doing here. We're
Yeah.
going to coach you. We're going to help make sure that your story is the quality you want it to be, because that is the group of people I have put together to put the book together. So you can be like, well, I'm not a writer. Not a problem. I got you back. I got you covered. So you don't have to be a great writer. All you have to have is the story to share, the wanting to share it. And the cost of being in the book is less than the cost of just doing Gabrielle's premiere program or working with me one-on-one at a premiere, what that would be valued at. Because I don't do one-on-one that way. I channel for a few people. I don't do it for that reason. But if I were to charge what it would be valued at, way more than the price of being in this book. So what you're getting is, and you're going to become an author, and I'm telling you, we're going to push this book to best.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're going to have stuff after the fact too for those who are their back end plan is something like public speaking or they want to do workshops. Well, we're going to have a platform that you can put the workshops on. We're going to put events together that you can do some public speaking if you want to come and join where we're at, or and that sort of thing. So that's we're going to try to coordinate the authors to do events together. And so this is not just, oh wow, there's an opportunity to be in a compilation book. This is so much more.
Yeah, it is, and I'm so excited about that.
I'm too.
Yes.
I guess I should tell people compilation books, it is not unusual for that to take a year to get the authors together. But that doesn't mean you don't need to get with us now, because the sooner you're with us, the more time you have with us for the coaching and for the, because that goes on the whole time that you're putting the book together. So the sooner you get in, the better. But just getting the authors together, it's not unusual for that to take a year. So I want people to know that. Don't think you're going to jump in a compilation book today and it's going to be out next week. Which is why all this coaching is going to be there for you.
Yeah. And this energetic work that we teach and my program is still available on sale right now. The sale ends the 27th of this month. This is the cheapest my program has ever been. Spirit guided me to be of service, so I wanted to give this out at a really discounted rate. So I have a few slots available, but the link will be in the bio as well if you want to join the Blueprint for Walking into Your Power program, which goes over the energetic works, loving yourself, trauma work, shadow work, all these different aspects that we've been talking about, so you can heal yourself and walk off and be the best higher version of yourself.
Absolutely, which is what this whole journey is about. Whether your twin is here, whether they've transitioned, whether you have a twin, whether you want to have a twin, it's what the journey is about. So all right, Gabriella, I think we've covered it all.
We have.
All right. So and no rain. The storm didn't come.
I know. We had a lot of wonderful wind that came in that was affirming a lot of stuff. Mother Nature was affirming a lot of stuff.
Again, awareness, conscious awareness, not imagining a thing, conscious awareness. And thank you for the Roberta force field, Roberta, that kept the weather back. Thank you, Roberta. So, all right then. Well, folks, we will see you next Tuesday for Twin Flame Tuesday. And I know we go a little long with these, but we get into it, and we so love sharing the information with you. So thank you, Gabrielle, for having Twin Flame Tuesdays, for your group, for the work you do. And I just, you're such a blessing to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you guys, make sure you get those questions out. If you have any questions, the topics we haven't went over yet, make sure you get those questions out inside of the group. The link will be in the bio as well. And I love you guys. Peace, love, and my Twin Flame, my spirit guides.
Bye, y'all.